got Belle, and she's going to be helping me record basically what I'm cooking.
Oh no, look at me. 100 pounds and all. No, absolutely not.
It has to happen for today, right? Right, so Belle's in shame mode because she's wearing her pajamas because she's been like learning all day, and this is her learning attire. But she's going to be recording me for my first ever YouTube to actually start this ball rolling properly. So I've waited this time, and we're going to start out with our first ever YouTube. It's not going to be the most amazing thing that we're ever going to cook today because it's pretty much just a weekday Chinese-y kind of stir fry thing. So we've all had kind of a busy day on our lockdown, so we're going to use some chicken and kind of stir fry that up. We're going to use, these are all the things that I've been finding in the cupboard. So these are some peppers that we're going to use. Most Chinese dishes usually come with onions, so onions are always pretty important. And then some asparagus, because asparagus is nice and fresh. So asparagus is usually really good with like steaks and stuff like that, but we're going to use it with some chicken today. And then just some noodles, so we're going to put these into a boiling pot of water and then kind of fry them up at the end. So we'll need a couple of spices and things like that for it. So what I'm going to use is ginger and chili and garlic and a lime. And that's going to give us kind of like the basis of our flavor. Right, so first thing you want to do is make sure everything's absolutely washed. Whenever it comes to vegetables, it's like the cardinal sin is not to wash what you have. So make everything that you're going to cut washed, cleaned, and make sure that like all your kind of pesticides and stuff like that are washed off them. Otherwise, you're just poisoning your family. So definitely worthwhile to make sure you wash everything pretty thorough. I always worry whenever my wife's actually doing the vegetables that she doesn't wash them enough because she can't be trusted. So that's our vegetables washed. And then we're going to chop some stuff up. So we'll come out with an onion. So everything kind of starts with an onion, usually whenever you're cooking stuff. Some nice little slices, like kind of like this. So just like nice and small. So we're just going to add some flavor. So we're going to do that with a small bit of garlic. And we're going to use some ginger as well. So ginger, you can just kind of scratch off the skin first before you start. And just using the back of a knife. You can use a spoon, which is even better. And using fresh ginger just kind of makes everything super, super fresh whenever you eat it. Mainly because you're using fresh herbs and stuff like that, it makes everything just taste a lot more authentic, that it's not out of a packet, that you're using actually stuff that tastes nice and fresh and fine. So there's our ginger. And just our little bits of garlic now as well. Just going to put on a pot of water, get that coming to the boil, and then we'll drop in our noodles here. And everything's kind of done with a wok. So we're going to start out with a wok. So we're just going to put in some oil into that first. So I'm going to start out with a nice light oil. Okay, so flavor wise, we're going to be using soy sauce, sesame oil, and usually you're supposed to use like rice wine vinegar, but today we're going to use apple cider vinegar, and I absolutely love using that. And this here stuff, so give this a sniff, Belle. Smell it and tell me what it smells like.
I don't know.
So it's fish sauce. Lindsay, my wife, absolutely hates whenever I cook with this, but it's actually super important to use. We're using the fish sauce, so already they've heard that I'm going to be using the fish sauce tonight, and we're using it. It's important to be used. Right, so first thing we're going to do is drop in our onions. So just let them kind of fry off a wee bit first. And a little drop of salt just to kind of let the onions sweat down a bit quicker. Okay, so those onions have kind of softened down. We just want to drop in our asparagus now and let that kind of steam a wee bit inside this. So while that's getting ready, we're just going to prep our chicken. We're just going to cut that into some nice little strips. So we're just going to cut the chicken into long strips like this. Right, so we've got everything kind of frying up. So we want to take care of our chicken now. So this is like kind of like a midweek cheat and we're going to use this stuff. So I'm not like a massive fan of using curry pastes and things like that, but it's midweek and I think we can cheat. So we want to go in with 1 big teaspoon, 2 big teaspoons of madras curry paste. And then the ingredient here is to use your peanut butter as well with it. So this is going to make like a lovely satay type of dish. So we're going to go in with nice big amounts of peanut. Okay, so we're just going to end this tub of peanut butter. So go with a nice peanut butter one with like a wee bit of texture into it as well. So this stuff here's got nice little nuts. And then just to bind everything together, we're going to use a lime. So a lime, and we're going to throw in that garlic that we chopped up earlier. So let me just cut this nice and fine because you don't want to have like any chunks of garlic in your teeth whenever you're going to eat it. Okay, so garlic goes in, and then lime juice. And we're going to drop that in as well. And then some soy sauce as well in over the top. So let's see, we'll bring it up over here so you can see it nicely. So some soy sauce then in over the top of that. And we'll just add the rest of this lime juice to break down the peanut butter a bit. Okay, and then give that a nice stir. Now, sense would have told me to have used a bigger bowl, but I didn't. So this is a really impractical sized bowl for what I want to do. In fact, let's change that up. We're going to need a bigger boat. So I don't know what I was thinking there. So we're just going to mix all this round. That smells fantastic already. It's nice and fresh with the lime, and you've got your garlic and you've got your spice paste as well. So, and then last thing we want to do is just a small bit of sesame seed oil just to give it that kind of lovely nutty smell. And that lets us make a lovely paste now. So that's our marinade made now. It smells lovely. So we're just going to drop in our pieces of chicken inside this. So chicken goes in. Okay, so what we're planning to do is basically put these pieces of chicken inside the marinade, then drop them inside the oven, and you have these lovely little bits of marinated kind of satay skewered chicken. And we'll drop that in with our noodles then once we're done. So just chopping up all the rest of our chicken here so it's all ready to go into the oven at the same time. And because I'm cutting it so thin, this cooks within about maybe 10 minutes. And it's nice and kind of charred on the outside, but it's still got all that lovely satay sauce flavor. So we're just dropping all our chicken in. Last bit of chicken goes in, and we're now going to mix this. So this is kind of like the dirty bit. So I'm going to drop in a tiny little piece of our ginger in over the top of this as well. Okay, so we're going to mix it up and just get all those flavors all nicely into the chicken. That's all our chicken nicely coated now. Ideally what you would be doing is leaving this, putting it into the fridge overnight and letting all those flavors really get in, but we're going to now add some skewers to it. Okay, so we've got a couple of skewers and we're going to set them down on top of this. So this is a really quick process, and all we're doing really here is just giving the chicken somewhere that it can. So all we're doing here is just basically making it that the chicken can sit off the ground so the heat gets underneath and in over the top. And going on.
Daddy, see it dangling? It's not looking pretty over here.
Is it not?
It's all dangling down. Like something dead.
And then another skewer to be done. A bit of a disclaimer, I've never actually made these before, and this is a first. And I'd seen the recipe before and thought, yeah, it sounds pretty nice to try it out. So far, it smells absolutely fantastic, and I'm looking forward to trying it. So I'm just using the rest of our marinade up here just to kind of tip on the tops of these. Okay, so we're just going to drop these inside the oven, and we'll leave this for about 10 minutes. Okay, so our vegetables we're just going to take out and set to the side for a minute. So whenever it comes to kind of like doing any kind of stir fries, I always find that you're better not overcrowding your pan and giving everything a little chance to fry off and get its own color on its own. So we're just going to drop in our peppers and things now with the rest of our ginger. And a little bit of salt just to kind of activate it then. So getting that going. We'll just let them get a bit of color. So the last part of this is some noodles. So these noodles cook inside. So these take 4 minutes to cook. My dear wife tells me that they take 20 minutes, but they don't. And we're going to prove her wrong. So we're going to drop in our nests inside here and just let them kind of drop into some warm, kind of almost boiling water. While that's happening, our little peppers are almost ready. And we're just going to drop in some soy sauce into those. So soy sauce. And then some of our apple cider vinegar as well. So we're just going to drop them in with the rest of our vegetables. For the noodles, we just want some more sesame seed oil. We'll just drop that in. And a wee bit of soy sauce. As expected, the noodles are ready after 4 minutes, and we can just basically take these out, dry them off a bit, and then we're just going to put those in and fry them off in that oil. Okay, so noodles are out, and we'll drop them inside here and get these frying off. Right, so our noodles are frying off nicely inside that, and then the only other thing that I like to add to my noodles is some frozen peas at the end. So the frozen peas basically just thaw themselves out once they're done. So frozen peas are in, and you can just leave them like that, and they'll just become nice little crunchy fresh peas once they're done. And that's it. Sesame seed oil's in, and a little bit of soy sauce as well. And then we'll just drop in the rest of our noodles and just loosen these up. Okay, so that's our noodles done. So we'll just drop off our noodles into the rest of this little pan now. Okay, so this is the important part, which is making sure you don't poison your family. So I use this, which is a thermopen, and you basically just plunk this into your chicken and it'll tell you what temperature it is. So we need to get to, what temperature, Lindsay? 72.8, and then you don't kill your family. So we're just going to check that out now with our skewers and see where we're at. So pop this in. She's 66, so we're just going to leave that in for just another wee minute, and then we'll be good to eat. Look at Belle getting the top down angles. Right, so we're just going to put in our flavors now back in just to heat everything up and get it ready. So these are all our lovely bits of vegetables. Nice healthy dish of those, smell great. And we'll drop in nice little lime on top of those. Okay, so this is the big moment, and we're going to check these things out, see if they are going to poison our family yet. So we're just going to check some of these bits. So they're sitting like pretty high actually there. That's looking good. Yeah, they're up in their 80s. So chicken is cooked. So we're just going to try and take it out here without burning ourselves.